Hello and welcome. Today we're jumping into one of the most famous poems from the 18th century. It's a story that kicks off with what seems like a massive, world-changing conflict, but it turns out to be all about something unbelievably small.
Okay, let's get right into it. Pope starts his entire poem with this incredible line, and honestly, it's the key to the whole thing. He's telling us right from the get-go that we're about to see an epic battle that started over something totally insignificant. We're talking about the ultimate overreaction.
So what is this mighty contest he's talking about? Well, to get the scoop, Pope does what all the great epic poets do. He calls upon a muse, a goddess of inspiration, and basically asks her to spill the tea on what really went down.
He then lays out the two big questions that are going to drive this whole story. First, what on earth could make a respectable, high society lord attack a gentle lady? And then, and this was probably even more shocking back then, why would she ever turn down a guy with his status and money?
Then he throws in this cheeky little aside. See, Pope himself was famously short, so he kind of winks at the audience and wonders aloud if a little man could even pull off such a dramatic crime. It's this perfect little bit of self-aware humor, mixing his own life right into the drama.
Now, to really appreciate how funny this all is, we need to understand the guy who wrote it and the brilliant trick he's playing on us. So let's get into the context behind this incredible parody.
So get this whole poem wasn't even Pope's idea. It was actually his friend, John Carroll, who asked him to write it. Why? To make fun of a real and frankly completely ridiculous argument that had exploded between two wealthy families, all because someone snipped off a piece of a girl's hair. The hope was that a funny poem might get them to just calm down.
So to pull this off, Pope uses a genre called the mock epic. Basically, he takes all the super serious, dramatic language you'd find in a huge war story, with gods and heroes and battles, and he applies it to this petty little high society argument. The comedy is all in that crazy mismatch.
And this right here really shows you the genius of it. A true epic, like the Odyssey, is all about legendary heroes fighting for the destiny of nations. Pope's mock epic? It's about fashionable socialites fighting over a bad haircut at a party. He's using the same grand scale, but for something just hilariously unimportant.
Okay, so with all that in mind, let's finally meet our heroine, the beautiful Belinda. Her perfectly arranged day is about to get very, very dramatic. The poem tells us that the sun is basically shaking in its boots as it tries to peek through her curtains. It's actually afraid to shine too bright, because it's worried that when she opens her eyes, her beauty will literally outshine it and maybe even cause a solar eclipse. I mean, that's the level of vanity we're talking about here.
And this just says it all. Her day doesn't begin at the crack of dawn. Nope, it starts at high noon. A time that, as Pope tells us, is usually when sleepless lovers are just starting to wake up. That one little detail tells you everything you need to know about her life of pure, luxurious laziness.
So what's her alarm clock? Not some loud bell. It's her tiny little lapdog, Shock. Having a lapdog was like the must-have accessory for aristocratic ladies back then, and here he is trying his best to wake his owner up.
Her process for getting out of bed is a whole performance. She rings for her maid, Betty, not once, but 3 times. When that doesn't work, she gets impatient and starts tapping her slipper on the floor. But when Betty still doesn't show up, she doesn't get up herself. She just gives up and sinks right back into her pillow for a little more sleep.
As she's drifting back off to sleep, the poem suddenly gets, a little supernatural. Pope introduces his own version of gods and goddesses, but they're perfectly suited for this high society world.
Yeah, forget about the big, powerful gods from Greek mythology. Belinda's protector is a sylph, a tiny, floating spirit named Ariel. In Pope's little universe here, these spirits are actually the souls of women who used to be flirts, and now their job is to protect the vanity and honor of young ladies like Belinda.
So her guardian sylph, Ariel, sees that she's not quite ready to face the world yet. So he decides to stretch out her nap a little longer and sends a very specific, specially designed dream her way. A dream that's meant to flatter her, but also to warn her about the day ahead.
And this isn't just any old dream. The sylph creates a vision of this absolutely dazzling young man who whispers in her ear. He's described as being even more handsome than some guy who really impressed her at her last birthday party. It is the perfect dream for a girl who lives for compliments and attention. And all of this just sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? We've got our
pampered, beautiful heroine living in a bubble of pure luxury. We've got these little supernatural beings flying around, sending her secret warnings in her dreams, and you just know a storm is brewing right under the surface of all this polite society.
So, that leaves us with the million-dollar question. We've seen Belinda's world of absolute comfort and vanity, but what could possibly happen to shatter this perfect little bubble? How does this lazy afternoon turn into that dramatic, mighty contest that Pope promised us right at the start? The trivial event is coming, and it's about to change everything.